Hi dear students, in this presentation we will be discussing about the last part of the thermochemical conversion methods, that is gasification. Just like other thermochemical conversion technologies, gasification is also a thermal decomposition in the presence of controlled air. It is the conversion process of solid fuels into combustible gas mixtures known as producer gas without leaving any solid carbonaceous residue. So that is very important. So the end product of gasification is the combustible gas mixtures, and commonly it is known as producer gas. So it can be a combination of different gases, but all the gases are combustible. That is the importance, and without leaving any solid carbonaceous residue. So at the end of the gasification process, there won't be any carbonaceous residues left for combustion. So the entire solid is converted into gaseous form by the process of gasification. Of course, it is a complex process. Gasification is the partial combustion of biomass that occurs when the air supply is less than adequate for combustion of the biomass to be completed. So if we are restricting the airflow, see for the complete combustion, the minimum requirement of oxygen is we can calculate as per the chemical reactions and all. So if you restrict the airflow, that means the oxygen availability will be less, so there won't be the complete combustion. So that is what is the basic idea of gasification. So gasification is the partial combustion of biomass that occurs when the air supply is less than the adequate for combustion of biomass to be completed. So complete combustion in either of these steps, the complete combustion will not take place. So what happens is the carbon content present in the biomass is finally converted into combustible gaseous products like carbon monoxide and hydrogen, etc. Okay. Biomass contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules. See, every biomass is having all these molecules, but not in the individual form, in the complex form. See, carbohydrates will be having carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So all these molecules are there in the biomass, which on complete combustion, if it is complete combustion takes place, then it will finally converted into CO2 and H2O. That is the final combustion equation. So carbon, hydrogen and oxygen present in the biomass as carbohydrates decomposes. If the enough oxygen availability is there, it will be completely converted into final product of combustion will be CO2 and H2O. So we are in this process of gasification, we are not allowing complete combustion. So we will go for the partial combustion. So partial combustion produces CO. See, instead of CO, sometimes we will be getting CO. Oxygen amount is less, means instead of CO2 we will be having CO, carbon monoxide, and instead of H2O, if oxygen lack is there, then we will be getting hydrogen, which are both combustible gases. So if you can produce CO2 and hydrogen by partial combustion, both these gases are having the property of readily combustion. So this can be used for the combustion purposes. Most common raw materials are wood chips, coconut shells, straw and rice husk. So these are all the biomass from which we will be usually producing the combustible products, and the process known as gasification. So and also we must be taken care that the biomass provided in the reactor should be of very small size. So that's why wood chips, very small, we have to convert the biomass into very small size, then only we can feed it into the reaction chamber. Usually the temperature of gasification ranges up from 500 degrees Celsius to 1000 degrees Celsius, and even highest in some cases. Even it can go up to 1300, 1400 degrees Celsius, like that. Depending on the feedstock and technology used, the temperature may vary. The following main reactions occurs inside a biomass gasifier. These four are the main reactions occurring inside a gasifier. Gasifier is nothing but the equipment which is used for the purpose of gasification is known as gasifier. Or gasifier is the equipment which will convert biomass into gaseous combustible fuels. Okay. So all these four processes will be taking place in all type of gasifiers, but the order of the process may be different. Based on that, we have different classification of gasifiers also, like updraft gasifier, downdraft gasifier, cross flow gasifiers, like that. Various gasifiers are also there based on the order of the processes occurring inside the gasifier. Anyway, all the gasification process will have all these 4 processes. I will explain the processes happening in the gasification as first one is drying. Drying means simply removing the moisture content. Biomass fuel usually contains 10 to 35% moisture. When biomass is heated to about 100 degrees Celsius, the moisture is converted into steam. See, the temperature range required is more than 100 degrees, just above 100 degrees Celsius. If that much heat is provided for a particular time, then all the moisture content present in the biomass will be evaporated. So steam is the byproduct. Now then comes the pyrolysis. Already we have discussed the process and all in detail. After drying, as heating continues, the biomass undergoes pyrolysis. So during pyrolysis, what happens is from the solid fuel we will be extracting mainly the liquid fuel by the process of pyrolysis, and the end product will be usually, as we know, it is either biochar or tar. Okay. So it is just like gasification. This is also pyrolysis involves burning biomass completely without applying any oxygen. As a result, the biomass is decomposed or separated into solids, liquids and gases. Of course, the gases produced will be very less in quantity. That is the main difference between pyrolysis and gasification. Charcoal is the solid part, tar is the liquid part, and flue gases make up the gaseous part. So the final product of the final product of the pyrolysis is liquid fuel, that is tar, and finally we will be getting a pure form of carbon as the solid fuel, which is known as charcoal. So end product of pyrolysis is charcoal as well as the liquid fuel, biochar or tar. Why we go for the pyrolysis? Usually to produce the more combustible solid fuel or more efficient solid fuel, charcoal. That is the aim of going for the pyrolysis. But in gasification, our aim is to produce the gaseous combustible products. Okay. Now comes the oxidation. Oxidation, as we all know, it is the complete combustion, or simply oxidation is known as combustion. So during this process, there is no restriction of the oxygen. So air is provided in an enough quantity so that the oxidation is happening in the presence of air, we can say. Air is introduced into the gasifier after the decomposition process. During oxidation, which takes place at about 700 to 1400 degrees Celsius, charcoal or the solid carbonized fuel meets the oxygen in the air to produce CO2 and heat. See, this is the basic combustion equation. See, carbon will combine. See, every biomass is having carbon content, which is the main source of fuel production. So carbon will combine with oxygen. C plus O2 will give you CO2 plus heat. That heat is used as the energy. So usually during all these reactions, I have already told, drying is the heat. During the drying process, we have to provide the heat to the biomass. Similarly, some reactions are exothermic also, some are endothermic, so which requires heat, and someone will produce the heat. So here it is oxidation is a exothermic reaction where the heat is produced. The main heat source is the oxidation or combustion, or by the combustion we will be producing the heat required for the other reaction to happen. So there is no separate heat supplied in any of the gasifier. So during this, whatever heat is produced during oxidation or combustion process, in that process, the heat produced that heat produced during the combustion process will be used for the heating if required in the other process and all. Now comes the reduction reaction. Reduction, as the word indicates, it is the combustion process in the absence of the air or a restricted oxygen supply, we can say. At higher temperatures and under reducing conditions, that is when not enough oxygen is available, the following reaction takes place, forming carbon dioxide, hydrogen and methane. See, all these end product, carbon dioxide, except carbon dioxide, hydrogen and methane, both are combustible products. And along with the carbon dioxide, sometimes carbon monoxide is also produced. That also is a combustible product. So these are the three different reduction reactions that can occur inside a gasifier based on the prevailing temperature as well as the heat supplied. Okay. So the first one is C plus CO2. See, during the oxidation combustion, CO2 is produced. That CO2 will further combine with C to form 2CO. That is one reaction. And there is another possibility, carbon can combine with H2O. Where this H2O comes from is that is coming from either from the drying process as well as the oxidation combustion. Also the byproduct will have the H2O during complete combustion we will have H2O. So C plus H2O will give CO plus H2. See the final product, it is carbon monoxide and hydrogen, both are combustible gases. Similarly, if during the first step you can see C plus CO2 is giving 2CO. So CO, carbon monoxide gases are available during the gasification process that can further combine with H2O molecules. So CO plus H2O will give CO2 plus H2. In that case also CO2 is not combustible, but hydrogen is the very good fuel. And similarly C plus 2H2 can give CH4, that is nothing but methane, that also is a combustible fuel, good fuel that we can use in the gaseous form. So all these reaction, either of this reaction can take place inside a gasifier. So finally either we will be getting carbon monoxide, hydrogen or methane. So we are expecting all these three gases, and the combination of all these gases is commonly known as the producer gas. So producer gas is nothing but the gaseous combustible mixture produced by the process of gasification in the reduced air supply or restricted oxygen supply. So which byproduct is found is based on which chemical reaction is happening, or temperature, what is the temperature inside the gasifier, which process we are using. So now we will move on to the different types of gasifiers used. Sorry, before moving to that topic, this is the schematic diagram of the gasifier. See, we will be supplying biomass into the gasifier. This portion is the gasifier reactor, and gasification entire process taking place inside this one. So you can see reduction reaction is taking place at this region, and oxidation, of course, for the oxidation we will be requiring enough oxygen, so air is directly supplied to the region where the oxidation is taking place. So biomass will be combining in with the oxygen, or complete combustion will take place in this region, oxidation. So the final product will be CO2 plus H2O. Here we will have the pyrolysis, and above that we will have the drying. This order of the process can change. See, sometimes drying can be reduction can be above oxidation process. Like that, different possibilities are there based on the design of the gasifier. So which gasification process we are using, based on that the order of this process can change. But simply what we will do is we will be providing biomass in the finite form into the biomass reactor, or we will call it as gasifier. Inside the gasifier, all these processes will be happening. Drying process will be there, pyrolysis process will take place, oxidation as well as reduction process will be taking place. So after reduction process, we will be getting the final combustible gaseous fuel, which will be collected out from the reactor. So see, the gases or combustible gas is finally produced, and it is collected at the bottom portion, and it is taken away through this line. We will have the separate provision to provide the air into the gasification, into the gasifier also. So finally, non-carbonaceous product as the end product of combustion will be collected as ash, which is not possible to further produce combustible products from this one. So that is non-carbonaceous product will be collected as the ash. That is what is happening in a gasifier. So we will now discuss about classification of gasifiers. Biomass classifiers, gasifiers are broadly classified based on the following factors. First one is the direction of the gas flow. According to the direction of the gas flow, the gasifiers are classified into down draught, up draught, and cross draught. Anyway, we will be discussing all this in detail. According to the output power of the gasifiers are classified into small size gasifiers. If the power output is less than 10 kilowatt, then it is called small gasifiers, and medium size gasifiers if it is 10 kilowatt to 50 kilowatt, large size gasifiers if it is 50 to 300 kilowatt, and very large size if it is greater than 300 kilowatt. If it is based on the power output from the gasifier. Power output means on combustion of the producer gas produced from the gasifier, how much power we will get, that is the meaning. According to the type of the bed, gasifiers are classified into fixed bed gasifiers and fluidized bed gasifiers. This is the another classification. Now we will in the next slides and all, we will discuss in detail about down draught, up draught, and cross draught, as well as fluidized bed gasifiers. So all down draught, up draught, and cross draught I am going to discuss are of fixed bed gasifiers. That gasification bed is not moving, but in the fluidized bed gasifier, that bed where the combustion takes place will be in continuous motion. So that is the difference. Now coming to the first type of gasifier, that is down draught gasifier. In this gasifier, biomass is fed at top and air is introduced at the combustion zone from the sides. You can see in the figure here, this is the combustion zone. In this region, we have the combustion zone, and biomass is fed at the top portion. At the top portion of the gasifier, we will be providing the biomass in the reduced form or chip form. We will be providing wood, whatever biomass we are using, that is provided at the top portion. So, the biomass will be continuously moving due to the gravity in the down draught gasifiers. So, first process is drying zone. See, biomass is first entering into the drying zone, then comes the pyrolysis zone, then comes the oxidation or combustion zone. Finally, it is moving on to the reduction zone. So, as I have already told when I explained the gasification process, I have already told the order of the process can change. Here, the drying process is on top, then comes the pyrolysis process, then comes the combustion or oxidation process. Finally, only a reduction process is coming. That is the order of processes happening in a down draught gasifier. So, in this gasifier, biomass is fed at the top and air is introduced at the combustion zone from sides. See, the air is introduced from the sides of the combustion chamber. The gas leaves at the bottom of the reactor. So, the final producer gas produced as the byproduct of gasification is finally leaving at the bottom of the gasifier. That is the important thing to be noted here. So, fuel and gas moves in the same direction. See, fuel is moving from top to bottom, as well as the gases produced in the gasification process also moving towards the bottom side. So, both fuel as well as the producer gas will be moving in the same direction. So, we will simply call it as co-current. Okay. So, in this motion of the biomass as well as gas in the same direction, we will call it as co-current. Okay. Here, tar produced in the pyrolysis zone travels through the combustion. See, explaining the process happening, we will be providing the biomass at this region. So, biomass will be initially entering into the drying zone where the low temperature is there. I have already told around 100 degrees Celsius, the drying zone will be working. So, whatever moisture content is there, that will be converted into the steam. So, once the drying process over, that will be further moving into the pyrolysis zone. During the pyrolysis process, as we know, the further chemical treatment will be taking place, and the final product will be solid charcoal, which is high rich content in carbon, which is readily combustible fuel, and as well as tar is solid liquid. So, liquid fuel, that is tar, is also produced. So, both tar and charcoal will be moving to the combustion zone where the air is provided. See, only in this region we are providing the enough air, or the oxygen is provided in this region. So, since charcoal is a readily combustible solid fuel, so that will combine with the oxygen present in the air, and complete combustion, there can be a possibility of complete combustion will take place, and finally what happens is the gaseous products are produced after the combustion. So, whatever after the combustion or the oxidation process, the products formed will be moving to the reduction zone where the enough supply of oxygen will not be there. So, during the incomplete combustion or during the absence of the air, the already products produced by the oxidation chemical reaction, that will be further converted into combustible gases like CO as well as hydrogen, as I have explained in this reaction. See, the byproduct of the oxidation will be CO2 plus H2O. So, that product will be moving to the reduction zone or reduced oxygen combustion zone, where carbon will be combining with CO2 to produce 2CO. Carbon can combine with H2O to produce CO plus H2. So, in any whatever reaction is happening, any of this reaction can take place in the reduction zone. Based on that, final product will be either CO or hydrogen. Both are combustible products. Sometimes even methane in a light quantity is produced. All these are combustible gaseous products. Okay. So, the order of the reaction takes place is at the top we will feed the biomass, then comes drying zone, then comes the pyrolysis zone. The product after the pyrolysis will be moving to the oxidation zone, where it will be completely coming in contact with the oxygen, and chemical reaction will take place, and the product of oxidation process will be moving to the reduction zone, where it will be we make sure that enough oxygen supply is not there. Finally, we will be getting the combustible gaseous products. called produced gas. Here tar produced in the pyrolysis travels through the combustion zone where it is completely broken down or burned to convert the gaseous form. See, one advantage of this down-draught gasifier is the tar which is in the liquid form will be moving to the combustion zone from the pyrolysis zone. So, in the combustion zone it will completely break down to convert it into the gaseous form. So, after the pyrolysis process, even though we are getting the liquid fuel, but once it moves on to the combustion zone, the liquid form is completely converted into the gaseous form. So, finally, the products leaving the gasifier will not have any liquid content. That is the main advantage of going for down-draught gasifier. As a result, mixture of the gases in the exhaust stream is clean with low tar content. So, tar content will be very less in the producer gas if we go for the down-draught gasifier. That is the main advantage. So, we can say the producer gas that we are obtaining after the gasification using down-draught gasifier is a clean fuel. There is no liquid content in it, or tar content will be very less. If tar content is there, what we have to do is we have to thoroughly clean it again and again if we want to use it for the electricity production or to use it in the IC engines. So, that is the main difficulty if tar is there along with the producer gas. The arrangement of combustion element is critical. In most of the down-draught gasifier, the internal diameter is reduced in the combustion zone referred as throat. See, out of this, the combustion zone arrangement is the critical one in the down-draught gasifier. You can see in the combustion zone, we will have the reduced area, and this portion is known as throat of the gasifier. So, the combustion area, the area where the combustion takes place is known as combustion zone. The diameter of the combustion zone is usually kept as very small, and we will call it as throat. Okay. The air inlet nozzles are commonly set in a ring around the throat to distribute air uniformly as possible. So, to distribute the air, nozzles will be there around the combustion zone in a uniformly distributed manner, so that air will be entering from all the sides into that restricted area. So, nozzle is used to provide the air into the combustion zone. This type of gasifier is commonly used for engine application because of its ability to produce relatively clean gas. As I have already told, the producer gas produced is comparatively clean, or there won't be any tar content in it. So, we can directly use the producer gas into the IC engine. So, it is commonly used for the IC engine applications. Drawbacks are slagging or sintering of ash may occur due to the concentrated oxidation, and the gas leaves at a high temperature, hence less efficient compared to up-draught gasifiers. See, the main drawbacks of the down-draught gasifier is slagging or sintering. Slagging means the solid formation of the ashes is commonly known as slagging or sintering. So, that will combine together to form hard solids, which is difficult to remove. So, that is one difficulty with going for the down-draught gasifier. And another one is, you can see the gas produced after this combustion is directly coming to some gas is coming into the reduction zone. So, very high, the maximum temperature is at this combustion zone only. I have already told 1000 to 1400 degrees Celsius produced in this combustion region. So, that high temperature gas is moving into the reduction zone. So, finally the producer gas leaving will have a very high temperature. So, that is not being utilized for any of the purpose. For the drying purpose, we require the heat. So, if we are using that high temperature producer gas pass through this drying zone, then that heat can be used for the drying purpose. So, in the down-draught gasifier, some heat energy is left through the producer gas without utilizing. So, efficiency is expected to be less as compared to the up-draught gasifier. That is the main difficulty or drawback of the down-draught gasifier. Now, only advantages we will be getting the pure form of producer gas, or there won't be any tar content in it. That is the main advantage, and we can directly use it for the electricity production, as we can directly combust it. We can use it as a fuel. That is the advantage. Now, coming to the next gasifier, that is up-draught gasifier, also called counterflow. Why it is called counterflow is, see, in this gas phase, the movement of the gas produced during the gasification as well as the biomass is in opposite direction. That's why it is called a counterflow gasifier. In this, air enters at the bottom and the gas is drawn off at the top. So, air is entering at the bottom portion. You can see in the figure, at the lowest portion air is entering and the gas is produced at the topmost portion. Here we will collect the producer gas. In the earlier one, the gas is produced at, collected at the bottom portion. Here the gas is producer gas is collected at the upper portion. That is the main difference. These types is simple one and is having higher efficiency as hot gases pass through the fuel bed and leaves the gasifier at the low temperature. See, here the oxidation or combustion zone is coming at the bottommost portion. So the flue gases produced will have very high temperature, that is moving then moves to the reduction zone, which requires temperature around 700 degrees Celsius. So the heat energy required for the reduction zone process will be provided by the flue gases from the combustion. So there is no separate heat is required to provide. Then comes the pyrolysis, which is a lower around 400 degrees Celsius temperature range process. So here also the heat is provided from the flue gases produced by the combustion process. Then the low temperature gas will be moving through the drying zone. Here also the heat required is provided by this gases moving through this drying zone only. So everywhere heat is absorbed. So finally leaving the producer gas will have the very low temperature. So the efficiency will be much more compared to the down road gasifier. No heat is left as waste in this process. As high efficiency as the hot gases pass through the fuel bed and leaves the gasifier at low temperature. Here biomass is fed at the top of the reactor and moves downward as the fuel conversion proceeds. See, we will be providing the biomass at the top, and as the fuel conversion proceeds, the biomass will be gradually moving downward due to gravity. Biomass movement is opposite to direction of the gas flow, hence called counterflow. The gas produced in the reduction zone leaves the gasifier together with the pyrolysis products and steam from the drying zone. See, the gas produced in the reduction zone, that is the main area where the combustible gases are produced or the producer gas is produced. That producer gas will be moving together, leaves the gasifier together with the pyrolysis product. See, the producer gas will be now entering into the pyrolysis zone, where the pyrolysis process will take place. As I have already told, after the pyrolysis there can be a possibility of liquid tar produced. So this liquid tar also will be carried along with the producer gas. So finally the producer gas leaving we will have the liquid content of fuel also. Hence so what happens is, after pyrolysis the producer gas plus this liquid tar is moving on to the next zone, that is drying zone. In the drying zone, as I have told, moisture content is removed. That means H2O also will be carried along with the producer gas. So the finally producer gas leaving will have both tar content as tar in the liquid content as well as the H2O in the suspended particle will be there. So this is not the cleanest form of fuel. If you want to use it for the electricity production, we have to clean it further. So it is most suited for high voltage fuels. Advantages are simplicity and high charcoal burnout, and is having higher efficiency. That is the main advantages. And drawbacks are high amount of tar and pyrolysis products are there along with the producer gas. Producer gas needs to be thoroughly cleaned if it is to be used for producing electricity. That is the disadvantage as far as updraft gasifier is concerned. Now coming to the next type, that is cross draught gasifiers. Here, as the name indicates, the flow of the gas as well as the biomass is in a cross direction. See, the biomass will be moving from upper portion towards the lower portion due to gravity, but the producer gas will be moving in the perpendicular direction to the motion of the biomass, or the producer gas is moving in a cross direction to the biomass gasifier. That's why cross draught gasifier. Here biomass moves in a direction perpendicular to the direction of the gas flow. It is adapted for the use of charcoal. Mainly it is adapted for the conversion of the charcoal into the producer gas. That is the main purpose it is used for. Now you can see in the figure, here everything is happening within this zone. At the upper motion we will be providing the wood chips, and finally it comes to the drying zone where the moisture content is removed. Then comes the pyrolysis zone. This region is the pyrolysis zone, and inner to that pyrolysis zone we have the reduction zone. Reduction zone is this larger circle drawn here, and inside that reduction zone we can see a small circular shape like that in that region only combustion zone or oxidation zone is happening. So the air is directly supplied into this small circular area where the combustion or oxidation process is happening. Once the combustion process happens, that the gases produced will be moving to the reduction zone, that is upper, this is largest circular portion. So in this region reduction reactions will take place. Finally the producer gas is produced and it is collected through the opening at the side of the gasifier. So this is the reduction zone, and you can see a separate barrier is also kept there. Through that barrier only producer gas will be moving on to the collecting point. Okay, air enters the gasifier through a nozzle mounted on the one side of the firebox. It operates at the temperature of 800 to 900 degrees Celsius and confines its combustion and reduction zone near the air nozzle. See, the main change in design is both combustion zone as well as the reduction zone is confined within the nozzle periphery, within the surrounding of the nozzle end itself. So in a confined area both these processes are happening. Unlike other gasifiers, the producer gas passes upwards in the annular space around the gasifier, which is filled with charcoal. Charcoal acts as an insulator and dust filter. Once the producer gas is produced, it will be moving through the annular spaces around the gasifier, which is filled with the charcoal. So annular space around the gasifier is initially filled with charcoal. So the producer gas will be moving through this annular space of the charcoal into the collection point. Charcoal acts as an insulator and dust filter. That is the purpose of using charcoal or providing annular circular charcoal around the combustion zone. The gas is produced by the horizontal zone in front of the nozzle and it passes through a vertical grate into the hot gas pot in the opposite side. See, the gas is produced, producer gas is produced in the this horizontal region, this circular, half circular or this region mark. In this region only producer gas is produced. So that is happening in a horizontal region, whereas after producer gas is produced, it will be moving through a particular obstruction. You can see an obstruction here that is kept as vertical. So the gas is produced in the horizontal zone in front of the nozzle and it passes through a vertical grate into the hot gas pot in opposite side. So that a vertical grate is provided and the producer gas will be moving along that grate to the other side, that is the collection point. Ash formed with the high temperature fall to the bottom and does not hinder the operation. Since in this process ash is directly falling into the bottom portion and separate grate is provided at the bottom to collect the ash, ash will be directly falling into the bottom portion and it will not affect the combustion process what is happening inside the gasifier. The high exit temperature of the gas and low CO2 reduction results in poor quality of gas and low efficiency. See, these are having very low efficiency and high CO2 content is also produced and are not much used commonly. That is the drawbacks. The high exit temperature of the gases and low CO2 reduction results in the poor. If CO2 is reduced in a much more quantity, then only we will have the carbon monoxide, CO we will get. If CO2 is not reduced in much more quantity, then CO content in the producer gas will be very less. CO2 is not a combustible gas, but CO is a readily combustible gas. That is the difference. Now coming to the last type of gasifier, that is fluidized bed gasifier. As the name indicates, the gasification process is taking place in a fluidized bed. Fluidized means it can flow, something which can flow. So the combustion products will be kept suspended in air. That is what is happening in a fluidized bed combustion. So the whatever particle we want to combust, whatever particle we want to burn is suspended as finite particles in a particular moving bed, we can say. See, if you provide a airflow at the bottom portion of a particular particle in the balanced form, then something due to that force exerted by the air on that particle, this can be kept in a suspended position if you continuously provide the right quantity of air as well as at the required force. So any particle can be suspended in air if you continuously provide the air. So in the same fashion here we will be creating a fluidized bed or suspended particle bed for the combustion process. So that's why it's known as fluidized bed. Usually the bed particle is having sand or limestone. So both the mixture of sand and limestone is kept as a suspended particle. See, you can see a red zone here. So this entire region is suspended sand and limestone particle. How it is suspended here is by providing air at a particular flow rate as well as at a particular force. So due to the action of this air continuously blowing through this region, the sand or limestone will be always in a suspended always will lie as a suspended particle in this region. So it will be just acting just like a fluid. That is the meaning. So into that bed, this bed is called fluidized bed. That's why it is since it acts as a fluid, that's why it is called fluidized bed. Into that bed we will be providing the biomass for combustion. So if heat is also provided, the combustion will take place. So by introducing this fluidized bed, what happens is the more surface area for combustion is provided, and we can expect to have better combustion also. In fluidized gasifier, air is blown through a bed of solid particles at sufficient velocity to keep these in a state of suspension. See, if the airflow velocity is optimum, then we can keep these solid particles in a suspended position. Make sure that it is not thrown out of the gasifier. So if you control the rate of flow and the velocity of the flow, then we can produce that suspended bed. That is the important. So it is very care is to be there to keep this solid particle in a suspended position. If the velocity increase, everything will be blown out of this gasifier. If the velocity is less, means this suspended particle will settle down at the bottom. So enough velocity and flow rate is to be assured. That is very difficult to maintain. The biomass is fed into the fluidized system from either above the bed or directly into the bed. During normal operation, the bed media is maintained at a temperature between 550 degrees Celsius and 1000 degrees Celsius. So heat is provided into this bed, and the suspended solid particle, that is sand and limestone, will be at a temperature of 550 degrees Celsius to 1000 degrees Celsius. When the biomass fuel is introduced into the fluidized bed, the high heat and the mass transfer characteristic permits the rapid energy conversion at isothermal conditions. So the combustion will take place in this region. The high surface area available in the fluidized bed and constantly moving mass results in good conversion efficiency and lower operating temperatures component to fixed beds. Ash particles are also carried over the top of the reactor and have to be removed from the gas stream if the gas is used in engine application. See, after combustion, flue gases can be there. Along with that, ash is also carried at the topper portion. So before using the producer gas as a fuel, we have to separate the ash content from this one. So separate ash removing equipments are also to be kept along with this one. Now, ash particles are also carried over the top of the reactor and have to be removed from the gas stream if the gas is used in the engine application. Advantages of gasification process. Gasifiers are available in several designs and capacities to suit the different requirements. A gasifier based power system, unlike those based on the other renewable sources such as the sun and wind, can generate electricity when they required and also wherever required. So it can be installed anywhere, and at any time we can produce the electricity by using the fluidized bed gasifier. Biomass gasifier based system can be set up at almost any place where biomass feedstock is available. For small scale system, the cost of the power generation by biomass gasification technology is less than that of conventional diesel based power generation. That is a main advantage. Biomass gasifier based system generates less CO2 emissions compared to the fossil fuel. See, since the final product is producer gas, there is no CO2 produced at all. So that is another advantage, but it is not easy to implement because continuously we have to maintain that fluidized bed. The solid particle, that is sand and limestone, is to be continuously kept in a suspended position by providing air from the bottom side, by blowing the air at a correct velocity and at the required mass flow rate we have to provide. If the velocity increases, the sand particle suspended will carry along with the gases produced to the toppermost portion. If the velocity is less, means the particle will be suspended down. So based on the mass of the suspended particle, that much force, equivalent to that much force, we have to provide from the bottom portion by the blowing air. So that force balance should be there. See, since the suspended particle is in the solid form, the mass of the solid particle will be acting downward, it have a tendency to move downward due to the gravity, but we will not allow it to fall it down. We have to keep it suspended in that particular position itself continuously. So whatever force is required, that we will be providing by blowing air from the bottom portion. That is the basic idea of fluidized bed gasifier. So by providing this one, we will have a fluidized bed that rests on in the gasifier always for the combustion. So by this, by doing like this, we can increase the combustion area. That is the basic idea. So I hope the idea is clear for you. With this, thermochemical conversion of the biomass is completed. Okay, thank you.